Hello there, welcome into the latest edition of the SAU Softball Coaches Show. I'm Daniel Gallegos, joined alongside head softball coach Jason Anderson. And coach, going into the second weekend of your season last weekend, you went and hit the road to Alabama Huntsville, took part in the the regionally renowned UAH Charger Chill Out. Were able to get in 6 games. You come out of it 3-3, but very easily it could have been a lot different on a plus side for you. A couple tough one-run losses there in the midst of that that tournament. But opening weekend, kind of what did you see out of that, playing 6 games in that length of time?
I think it was great for us. We were able to overcome some adversity early on day one and have a couple big-time comeback wins and win some late games late, which shows the character of the team and the kind of team that we have, that no-quit attitude that we have. And then we had a little adversity within some injuries and things we had to overcome there for day 2 and day 3, and really fought back. And like you said, had 2 one-run losses there against regional teams from last year in Bellarmine and Delta State, which could have gone either way, a 4-3 loss and a 3-2 loss. And then also we beat a really good Ohio Dominican team who was also a region team last year. So we're playing the right competition that we need to play to where we want to be at the end of the year. Obviously, which the outcome was a little more in our favor, but going over there, opening weekend, I'm still learning the players. We're still learning our pitching staff and things like that. I feel pretty comfortable with the 3-3 finish, and I think we actually got better this weekend.
At this point of the year, weather is unpredictable. I mean, you could have a good weekend where weather's great, conditions are great, or you could have a couple days where it's really cold, miserable, and wind blowing in, those types of things. Talk a little bit about maybe kind of the weather you experienced, and do you think that it maybe hindered you, or what was the weather like?
Well, I definitely think that day 2 and day 3, that we were playing on set-up fences on like slow pitch fields, and they were 220 fences all the way around, which is about as deep as you'd go at our level. And I do think that kind of took us out of our home run game a little bit. Wind blowing straight in. We had several balls that were either doubles or caught that were 215, 218 foot. Pop flies or line drives that were end up either doubles or caught. So I think our power numbers would have been a lot better, which in turn would have scored us a lot more runs, and I think would have been a big difference in some of those close games. So we did have some elements we had to struggle through a little bit, but the at-bats were pretty good overall. We had a couple of situations that I feel we needed to come through in, a couple of runners at second and third, less than 2 outs, and had a couple opportunities to get them in against Delta in the 6th inning, and we weren't able to push a run across. So we've got to get better there. We got to get some 2-out hits, but overall, like I said, it wasn't from the way our lineup's built, it wasn't our best weekend conditions-wise, but I think, like I said, we battled through. I'm happy with how the team played, and I do think we got better this weekend.
Coming into the year, we talked about it, obviously, with the one returning pitcher coming back, there was obviously going to be new arms that were going to be thrown. Early on in the year, particularly that first weekend, that's an opportunity for you to get into conference play to kind of see what you got as far as arms in game competition. So you threw several new ones out there. Talk a little bit about your pitching staff, how they fared this weekend.
Top to bottom, I thought we did. I'm going to say okay. When we kept the ball around the zone, we were very effective. Walks hurt us. They hurt us pretty bad in some key innings. If you look back at some of the games that we gave up that 2-3 run inning, it probably started with a walk or two. We weren't giving up just tons of hits, and there was a couple. I think we gave up 1 home run all weekend. So it was not like they were just hitting the long ball on us and we're just driving it. When we stayed around the plate and we put the ball not down the middle of the plate, but we were around the zone, I think our pitchers were pretty effective. When we started with some walks here and some walks there and gave them free base runners and allowed them to play small ball against us and get some runners in score position, then a routine pop fly to center field turns into a run. You have a sac fly because your first 2 runners were put on. So I think we are still learning a lot about our pitching staff. How long can at this point in the season, how long should we stay with somebody who complements each pitching well? But I thought overall, top to bottom, we saw some good things and really got better this week on staying around the zone and work in trying to eliminate the walks. And I think if we do that they'll be very effective. But we do definitely have a really good staff.
Looking ahead to this weekend, it's another big weekend. You're going to another, again, regionally renowned tournament event up in Bentonville. It's the UAM 8-State Classic. Arkansas Monticello team from our conference hosts this, strangely enough, up in Bentonville.
Yeah.
But really, that's where the conference tournament's held, so it's a good chance, I think, for GAC teams to kind of get up there and experience it, playing both on the traditional championship field that the tournament's held on, but also some of the city parks. Talk about those 6 teams that you're about to play, because again, when having the schedule put out, you're playing the teams you feel that are the right teams to play. in terms of positioning yourself regionally?
We got a tough stretch this weekend, and we're still battling some injuries. So we're gonna, next person in line is gonna have to step up, and we're gonna have to do that. But we're playing a good group of teams. We open up on Friday with Lindenwood and Northwest Missouri State, both Missouri, both region teams. Then we come back Saturday against Truman State, who was a very good a team that made a regional last year, close to 40 wins, made a run, went to the championship game of their regional, and ended up getting beat by Missouri St. Louis, so they're a really good opponent. And then Missouri Western, who actually we lost to last year in the regional tournament. And then we closed the day with Pitt State, or close the tournament with Pitt State and then Northeastern Oklahoma, all very solid opponents, all 6 all-region games. So it's one of those things where, we're playing the teams that we're going to have to beat if we're going to make a run at the end of the year, and we're playing them now. So we're not shying away from competition. We're not loading up our schedule with, traditionally weak teams trying to pad our record and things like that. We're going after the teams that we could possibly see at the end of the year, and when we do that, we're gonna have to do it now, and we're gonna have to see where we're at, and it'll help us as a team get better. As a coaching staff, we'll be able to get better on decisions that we make, and overall it'll be good for us in the long run when we start GAC play.
We appreciate very much for your time. Again, that's head softball coach Jason Anderson. He and his Lady Mill Riders are set to take on another big weekend of games, 6 games on tap, taking part in the UAM 8-State Classic, hosted up in Bentonville, Arkansas by UAM. Unfortunately, there might be some spotty live coverage with some of the elements up there and various reasons, but be sure to check millriderathletics.com for as quick to the updates, quick to the second updates that we can get for all those games throughout the weekend. Coach, we appreciate it. Best of luck.
Thank you.